Is MS Dhoni the problem for the Chennai Super Kings?
After some dismal performances by the Chennai Super Kings after their first win against the Mumbai Indians, there has been a lot of criticism not just against the management but also against MS Dhoni. This is in regards with the position he's batting in, the way he is batting, and if anything, his contribution towards the team. Diehard CSK fans and especially the Dhoni fans have come forward talking about how Dhoni shouldn't be playing in this IPL, and if anything, he should be dropped from the team. Now, before we get into the video itself and talk about the real problems, hit that subscribe button.
First thing that happened was that MS Dhoni received a lot of criticism because he came into bat at number 9. Now this happened in the game against the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and he came into bat when 98 runs were needed of 28 balls. But that's not the alarming thing. It was the fact that he came into bat after the likes of Ravichandran Ashwin and Sam Curran, both of whom are definitely not better batters than Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And so the first thing that we thought we'll have a look at is Mahendra Singh Dhoni's batting positions up till 2023 and since 2023. Through the major part of his IPL career, he's mostly come out at batted at positions of 4 and 5, playing 66 and 69 innings respectively at these positions. Number 5 was definitely his preferred position, with his average being 46 with a strike rate of 148. However, since 2023, that story is completely turned around. Since 2023, Mahendra Singh Dhoni is coming to bat at number 8.
Now, of course, statistically on the number 8 position, MS Dhoni has surely flourished. He has an average of 65 with a strike rate of 216. With an average and strike rate like this, you would think that he's definitely contributing to the team. However, if you look at his numbers when Chennai Super King wins and loses, the numbers are quite contrasting. When Chennai Super Kings loses, Dhoni has an average of 80 with a strike rate of 200. Now you think it'll be about the same when Chennai Super King wins, but this is not true at all. When Chennai Super Kings goes on to win a match, he has an average of just 13 with a strike rate of 180. At this point, the strike rate doesn't even matter. Now there can be an argument in this case, right? The fact that Dhoni has just an average of 13 while Chennai Super King goes on to win a match, you could always say that he doesn't need to bat for a long time or score a lot of runs because Chennai Super Kings are already in a position to go on to win a match. Now what's an interesting observation is that if you see the number of innings played by Dhoni in wins and losses since 2023, it is 13. It's same in both cases. But what is more interesting is whenever MS Dhoni has come into bat when Chennai Super Kings have gone on to lose a match, he walks in at number 8. And this is the entire argument made about Dhoni and his contribution to the team. If he's not batting up the order or if incapable to bat up the order, then why is he doing that in the first place?
If we go back to that RCB game, there's a couple of things that happened and a lot of people are talking about it. The argument that was made was the fact that Dhoni, irrespective of which position he would have walked in, would not have been able to take the Chennai Super Kings home because of how far the required run rate had already gotten. But there's a couple of things to talk about here. Firstly, when Sam Curran was pushed up the order, when he got out and at the end of that over, the required run rate was 13. And then after that, when Ravindra Jadeja as well as Shivam Dube, both of them got out, at the end of that over, the required run rate was 16. And after all of this is when Dhoni came into bat, he still managed to score 13 odd out of just 16 deliveries with a strike rate of 187. And so hypothetically speaking, even if MS Dhoni came into bat right after Sam Curran got out, it might have been a good time for him to be able to take the innings deep and put pressure on the opposition. Not only that, just the fact that Dhoni would have been out there and his experience would have been out there would mean that his partner batter would have been able to do more with the bat. And it is no secret that Mahendra Singh Dhoni, of course, is one of the best finishers that this game has ever produced. He's one of the best chasers in the world. This is also very evident in his IPL record, which we will bring up because it is important to establish the fact that we still think that MS Dhoni could have come in a little earlier and chased that down. We saw Dhoni's record in IPL history in all the cases where he's won matches for CSK in chases with the required run rate was about 10 when he came into bat. Now, while he has won a lot of games, he's won 7 games in cases where he himself has been able to contribute 20 runs or more to the CSK franchise. Not only that, on average, when Dhoni is able to score 30 plus in a successful chase for CSK, he's usually walking in with the average asking rate at 9.2.
Of course, this proves to only show that MS Dhoni is one of the greatest finishers of all time and chasers of all time. But the current situation is quite different. Since 2023, he hasn't been able to do that. And there are quite a few reasons for why, or excuses for why, people find his place in the squad. The first reason is that he's the legend of the game, the legend of Chennai Super Kings, and he brings a lot of brand value to the team. It's no secret that the CSK fan base is majorly made because of the man himself, and that's Dhoni in the squad. If anything, when a wicket falls and when you know that Dhoni is walking in, there's a lot more cheer than disappointment in the crowd. The other excuse people make is that he's still an excellent wicket keeper and still can hit those sixes a long way. We've seen a few stumpings already in this IPL, and a lot of people still rate his wicket-keeping skills at the age of 40. The real question is that one-off stumping in every second game or those sixes in the last couple of overs when the Chennai Super Kings are already at a losing position enough to make his place in the squad?
The other argument is the fact that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is one of the most experienced players in the world. He's been doing it for a lot of years, and so that experience will be valuable for cricketers coming into the CSK franchise for their grooming. However, if this is the only reason that the CSK franchisee are holding on to him, why not hold on to him in a mentorship role instead of having him play in the 11? And even if MS Dhoni wanted to quit mid-season and still come into the CSK franchise in a mentorship role, that's definitely something he could do. It's also been done by Gautam Gambhir when he knew that he wasn't performing and decided to keep himself out of the playing 11. And finally, the biggest excuse that a lot of people give for MS Dhoni not coming out to bat earlier, and something that even Stephen Fleming has gone on to say on record, is because of MS Dhoni's dodgy knee. Now, in a tournament like the IPL that is definitely not a retired Legends League, it doesn't make sense in any capacity for an injured player to be featuring in a playing 11. Now, while the IPL is a tournament that is for the purpose of entertainment of a lot of people, it still at the end of the day is one of the highest and most competitive forms of cricket that is being played in the world. And this means that a lot of youngsters are looking to make their mark, put in those performances, and possibly get selected for the national sides. In a tournament like this, where there are fixed rules and fixed methods of operations in different franchises all over the league, it seems very bizarre for a player who's only probably 60% fit to be featuring in all of the games when he knows that he's not going to be able to contribute fully.
This is all the more ironic because Dhoni, the Indian captain, would have dropped the Dhoni, the CSK player, a long time ago. He's done this with international legends from the Indian squad, but he's also done this with Suresh Rana in recent times. Not saying that he was the sole reason for the decision, but the management and the captain would have had to come to an agreement. Now, if you take a step back from all of this and then look at the Chennai Super Kings lineup, you would then have to ask yourself, is Dhoni the problem or just the tip of the iceberg? Dhoni being part of the squad and continuing to play just shows the arrogance and the stubbornness the Chennai Super Kings management have towards the team itself. We saw that in the auction when Chennai Super Kings were ready to pick up subpar players like Deepak Hooda, who's batted 98 times in the IPL with an average of just 17. Think about this. He is a middle order batter, has batted throughout the IPL seasons and just has an average of 17 and gets picked for one of the best teams in the IPL. Not only this, he also plays the first couple of games ahead of someone like a Vijay Shankar who has at least done well in the domestic circuit.
This problem is all the more magnified when you consider the current trend in T20 franchise leagues all over the world, especially since 2023 where teams have decided to go all out right from ball one. And in such a scenario, we have a Chennai Super Kings batting lineup where in the top 7, not one of the batters has a strike rate of even 150 since 2021. And as expected, that trend is also leaked into this season for the CSK. In their current batting lineup, only Rituraj Gaikwad is someone who has a strike rate of over 150. The next best being 143 for Shivam Dubey, but he has an average of just 15.
People might argue that these matches were in Chepauk and Guwahati, which are not the friendliest of the pitches for the batters. But if you look at the oppositions, there were a lot of batters in the opposition who were able to bat at a high strike rate. Now, all of this shows lack of intent from the Chennai Super Kings batters, which was also shown in the auction when they did not pick an obvious wicketkeeper backup for MS Dhoni. Of course, there are likes of Rituraj Gaikwad and Devin Conway who could be able to keep, but they are not regular wicketkeepers, and you have an uncapped player in the name of Vansh Bedi who was picked up at the auction. But the fact that you did not pick a regular wicketkeeper batter just shows that MS Dhoni might just have to play this entire season, and if he doesn't perform, he might continue to face the criticism that he's doing right now.
At the end of the day, as much as Mahendra Singh Dhoni is a legend and one of the greatest players to have ever graced Indian cricket, no individual is bigger than the sport itself. It also doesn't help that people in the broadcasting circuit and the commentary box don't even point out these mistakes and these things that are happening in IPL cricket, which further sways the fans into believing that some things are right despite they aren't. Here's our 2 cents on the MS Dhoni situation and how CSK's season is panning out. If you have thoughts, which we know you will, leave it down in the comments below, like this video, share it with your friends, most importantly subscribe for such videos. All of our links are in the description. Definitely give us a follow on Instagram. Our email newsletter is also active, so give us a follow there, and also follow our WhatsApp channel for the latest cricketing updates. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.